For less.com, you can celebrate Christmas in the Serengeti and New Year's Eve in Zanzibar with our holiday special. This 9-day adventure through Tanzania's stunning landscapes covers the Serengeti, Crater Tour, and Zanzibar's beaches. Enjoy an unforgettable New Year's Eve party and explore Dar es Salaam, East Africa's largest city. Worried about your budget? Our preferred travel agency, iButterfly Travel, can help finance your dream trip. Contact them at 844-423-5983. Start 2024 on a high note with a unique Tanzanian experience. Call iButterfly Travel today at 844-423-5983 or email visittanzania4less@gmail.com. Reserve your dream vacation with a 30% deposit. Spend Christmas in the Serengeti and New Year's Eve in Zanzibar. If not now, then when?
Good afternoon. Welcome to Tune Into, your show for news, information, and more. For this October the 6th, 2023, I'm your host, Gregory T. Roberts. Our co-host, Melvin Burns, Pastor Burns, is sitting out of these as we interview people that are running for election in Muskegon Heights. It's only fair, it's only fitting that he sits out. We don't want to show any bias anyway. Do me a favor, pick up your phone, just like I'm doing right now, and you go to these sites. And if you're listening and you would like to watch these interviews again, what you could do is go to WVS 103.7 The Beat and share that interview to your site. If you're driving and would like to watch it, over and over, they repeat themselves. So let me say that again. Let me make sure I say that again. If you would like to watch this show and you are driving, you can watch these shows. They repeat themselves on WVS 103.7 The Beat, and it repeats itself on M106 Rock and Soul. So I just want to make that clear. If you would like to be part of today's discussions, what you could do is as well ask questions. A couple things I need to talk about. First of all, let's visit the weather for today. The weather is 64 degrees, 60% chance of rain, low of 51. Saturday, high of 54, low of 48, 30% chance of rain. And from there, we are in the 50s, lows in the 40s. So fall has sprung on us. One thing I want to say is I'm a bit under weather, so pray for me that we get through this show. All right. I got to talk to you about real quick about what's happening in Washington. Then we have to get Mr. Hines on. As you know, that in the Constitution, it states that a succeeding order, who's in charge? President, Vice President, Speaker of the House. As you know, if you don't know, Congress, the House of Representatives, voted out their Speaker, the third in charge. Then they tabled to resolve the issue this following Tuesday. The next thing that I'm getting ready to say is on me. Do not call the radio station, okay? It's on me. GOP, get y'all stuff in order, and GOP and Democrats. You are supposed to be working, not this divisive stuff that you guys are doing. When the average person is $400 away from a catastrophe, from losing everything, when we have people living on the streets, when we have people that don't have food, when we have a system that is biased, and you guys have the nerves to be playing political tiddlywinks, stop it. And we deserve better in Washington, D.C. And you people wake up, because it's bait and switch. It's follow the ball. It's the old shell game, what they're doing. because while this stuff is going on, other stuff, money to Ukraine, border uh, issues, just a lot of stuff is going on, especially in the world. Uh, Actually, let's go to Benita. Benita said they staged the coup. Yes, they did. And so, thank you, Benita. You deserve better. We deserve better. Our money is being spent. We're spending $800 million a day. $800 million a day. Where's all that money going? Your guess is mine. Okay, the jobs report came out today. Over 300,000 new jobs are reported in. So the job market seems to look stable. Now, with that said, excuse me. Last time I had this guy on, we had some technical issues which we are fixed. We look back at the time he came on at 2:17 roughly. So we only thought it was fair for him to get a chance to come back. We are interviewing candidates that are running in Muskegon Heights. We only thought it was fair that he come back and have his time today to speak to you. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Mr. Dari Hines. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Can you hear me good?
Yes, I can. We can hear you.
Okay.
Mr. Hines, tell people a little bit about yourself.
Well, once again, for those who didn't hear me a couple weeks ago when I was on, my name is Dari Hines, and I'm running for one of the seats for Muskegon Heights City Council. So on November 7th, I would love for you to come out and vote for me, as I will be running for, since they asked you for a platform that you're running under. I'm not a politician. But what I am is a man that just wants to help my city out. And that's what I'll be coming to the office to do if you elect me. A little bit about myself. Raised in Muskegon Heights, been here all my life. Did almost 20 years as a firefighter on Muskegon Heights Fire Department. So I know a lot of people in the city, and a lot of people know me. Every minute of that, I enjoyed it, serving this community, and I want to serve it again as a councilman. And the reason that I'm running for council is I want to revitalize the Heights. Business-wise, industrial business, bringing that back and strengthening the industrial business that we already have, our commercial areas as well, and our residential. And so the Heights citizens deserve so much more than not just what they've gotten, but what they should have. And I plan to be one to go to work every day that I'm elected to bring back and restore Heights to what it was. And not just that, but take it beyond and what it can be, so that it can be a place to not be just for us to people to pass through, but for people to stop and engage with us and spend some money and see what all Muskegon Heights has to offer.
Okay, we've got to try to follow the same format of asking the people the same questions.
Yes.
Okay, so one of the questions was is that and I think you answered this, but if you didn't, that I was talking to a representative that said that the person that barks the loudest gets the bone or the meat. Like the city of Muskegon is getting a lot of tax dollars. How do we get those tax dollars from Lansing and Washington to the city of Muskegon Heights?
Well, one way of doing that, I feel, is it's all about relationships, person to person relationships. And when we put people in office to do that, we have to have the right frame of mind to know that we are deserving of the same thing that everyone else is getting, all the surrounding cities. And that comes from our approach. That comes from showing that we are willing to work with you, whether it's at the county level, state level, or federal level, or private sector. If we have private donors, it all works the same. We have to show that we are worth just as much attention and dollars and revenue and time being devoted to us as everyone else is surrounding us.
Another question came out. It came out at the end. Last question last week.
Yes.
The city charter is old. Do you feel that it needs to be revised and brought up to date?
Yes, I do. If you look at our charter, you may have some issues that will show redundancy and things like that. And we can streamline our charter to be more on par with today's society, rules and regulations, policies and procedures, to make doing business in the Heights a lot easier, to make going through the steps that you have to go through to get anything that you want to accomplish, from a building permit to a simple block party. You know, it doesn't matter what the situation is. When we streamline our charter so that we are more modern, it makes people want to work with us more, as opposed to saying, you know what, the way they do things is too old and outdated, and I'd rather not be bothered.
Another question that we proposed to people is, do you feel that the current administration is transparent, or do you feel that they are transparent enough to the people?
When you say the current administration, the Heights is comprised, the administration is comprised of the way we are set up here in the Heights is a weak mayor, strong council. So we have 6 council members and a mayor. The council sets policy, and the mayor lends his support should it be a tie vote, a 3-3 vote in the matters that they come up with, and he is the tiebreaker. But it has been, unfortunately, with this current administration, unfortunately, and that's not to, I really don't like to speak bad about anyone, but unfortunately, this current administration has shown that that a few members weren't exactly for making the right decisions for the city of Muskegon Heights as a whole. And so when you're able to get 4 votes to pass anything that you want, it makes it look like you're bullying your way through. And the transparency, there was things going on that a lot of us citizens didn't understand or didn't approve of. It was just voted on and passed with support. And we have to keep in mind that when we are elected by us citizens, myself included, we have to keep in mind that we are here to be public servants. And you have to decide when you get into this, are you going to be a person in there that serves the public, or are you going to serve yourself? And so, like I say, unfortunately, I think a lot that has gone on with this current administration has been a lot of vote getting. Well, if I got 4 votes to pass this, we're going to push this through. Whether it made good sound sense from a business aspect for the citizens of Muskegon Heights or not, it was private agendas being pushed through. And that's unfortunate for us because there's too much of that going on, which keeps us as a city from actually growing and moving forward.
Okay. Another question is that you guys have a water filtration. You have a gym out there.
Yes.
How do you get people to come back and use the water from the city of Muskegon Heights?
I think a lot of that goes with education and letting people know what the actual situation was without tearing open old wounds and picking away at scabs. There was a lot of lies being told way back then when certain cities decided to move away from the Heights. And it later came out that it was all a few people working together to try to get more bang for their buck.
Mhm.
And that caused a lot of strife. It caused a lot of turmoil and caused a lot of suffering for our city. When had the people known the truth, they would have said, yeah, it only makes sense that we do this and that we do that. But to answer your question, um, I think that we visit cities that are not a part of the Muskegon Heights, that are not online with Muskegon Heights filtration system. And we approach them and we say, hey, this is what we have to offer. These are the facts. This is what we have to offer. These are not facts. We would love your business, because at that point we become salesmen. So we have, like you said, we have a beautiful filtration plant, and it's on par with every other plant around here. They spent a lot of money years ago to bring that, to do a lot of upgrades at that plant that's out there on Seminole. So I think that we approach the cities that were not affected, that don't want to be a part of us. We go after the ones that might potentially do want to do business with Muskegon Heights, and we show just what we have to offer.
Mhm. Which is a lot. Answer this question. This is a question that was proposed to, and I think you did had a chance to answer this question before.
Yes.
How do you change the stigma of what people think about Muskegon Heights? Because here's the truth. Most people in Muskegon Heights get out, go to work, go home, take care of their kids, feed their kids, go to bed, repeat cycle, weekend, go to church on Sunday, and repeat cycle. That's most people in the Heights. How
Yes.
do we how do we change that stigma, that negative stigma that some people have about the friendly people of Muskegon Heights, which I got my orange and black on today.
I see that, and I appreciate that. And I can speak for all the other Tigers out there. When you're wearing orange and black, hey, come get with us. But to answer your question, it's a matter of just making sure that the truth is being told at all times. Just making sure that um, all the facts are out there.
Mhm.
Those of us that are from this area and from the surrounding areas, because a lot of people that are living in the surrounding areas, they're actually from Heights, or their parents grew up in the Heights, and no matter what race that you claim, a lot of people have roots and ties to the Heights. So we just have to do our part in making sure that the truth is out there, that everybody knows what's going on, what has happened, what is happening, and what we are trying to make happen now moving forward. And that way, when we do that, people can see genuine honesty. It gets through to people. And so putting the truth out there, letting them know that, because there's a lot of people that want to see the city of Muskegon Heights fail, so they can swoop in and capitalize on every good thing that we have. So it's just a matter of getting the truth out there and letting everybody know just who we are, what we have, and don't hold anything back. Let everybody know the truth and dispel some of these rumors, myths, and lies.
If Dari Hines is elected, what are your pet things that you would like to see done right away, day one?
Okay. From my own personal polling and from people coming to me, uh, they have told me that the biggest problem that they have in the Heights is they can't get anything done. When you want to do business in the Heights, they run into a bunch of roadblocks and unprofessionalism, things like that. So we have to fix that. And a pet peeve of mine is not being able to do that, not being able to go up to the Heights, not being able to uh, do business the way that you should be able to do business, have it done swiftly, have it done in a fashion that everything flows smooth so that you can carry on. That's what causes people to not do business with us. And that's a pet peeve of mine. When I hear when I hear and see people say things and they say, well, there's nothing that I want to do business in the Heights for because they do it this way and this is bad, right? Now that's one thing from a business aspect. Another pet peeve of mine is seeing all my current citizens not being involved with coming up to City Hall, coming out to our community things that we have going on. And if elected, I got a whole head full of things that I want to do, from meetings in our parks that we have, to 5K runs, to everything that can bring citizens out, and not just my age citizens, but I'm talking having things for senior citizens to do where they feel comfortable coming out and engaging and participating, people my age as well as the youth. We're not busy enough. Everybody else is bustling around us, and that's a pet peeve of mine that we are not. When we go down to Mona Lake, I don't see very many cars when I ride down there. Riding through the downtown area, Peck and Sherman, east and west, north and south, I don't see a lot of people out mingling, walking, going into businesses, and interacting with us. Commerce is what it's about. So I don't see that anymore like I did when I was growing up, well into my 20s. So that's a pet peeve of mine, that I don't see that I have to go downtown to get entertainment and to experience any form of nightlife or day life should I choose to. So those are pet peeves of mine. Public participation, and when people go up to City Hall to do business, is not handled in a way that it should be.
Okay, watching the clock here. Dari, is there any last thing that you would like to say, Mr. Hines?
Yes, I would, Greg. This November 7th, it's election time. Whether you vote absentee, whether you vote early, or whether you go out actually on the 7th, I ask that the people listening to me right now, and those that'll go on your podcast later on, that by November 7th, they cast their vote for me for City Council of Muskegon Heights. Day one, I will go to work for you, revitalizing the city of Muskegon Heights back to what it was, and do my part to take it forward into 24, 25, 26, and as many years as you would have me. But I will work every day for you to bring this city back, to make sure that at City Hall, the departments are running correctly, and outside of City Hall, that the community will be engaged by, if no one else, me, to actually always hear everything that you have to say and try and enact some good plans, good business moves to put Muskegon Heights back on the map and have people shopping here and stopping here again.
Let's go to the board. This is Rhonda Arbery says, awesome thoughts.
Thank you, Rhonda. Thank you. Thank you so very much. Come on out November 7th or sooner if you choose to vote early.
Okay. I guess I want to say this is good luck, Godspeed to you.
Thank you, man.
How do, if I want to write that big check,
yes,
or I have questions for you, how can you be reached?
Monetarily, the easiest way to do it is to hit me on Cash App. It's just simply $ and my name, Dari Hines, at Cash App. Any donation I get, I will appreciate. It'll go toward this campaign to make sure that I'm elected and start doing some work for the city of Muskegon Heights. If you see me, you know me personally, if you don't know me personally, but you recognize me, you see me in the street, at Myers, Sam's Club, doing my walks throughout the Heights and downtown, hiking, camping, anywhere you see me, feel free to stop me, talk to me, and see what's on my mind. And I want to see what's on your mind. Even if you're not a Heights citizen, you have someone that you know and love that lives in the Heights and that dwells in the Heights. So I would love to hear everyone's ideas, because I don't know everything, but I'm willing to listen and go to work for you.
Thank you, sir.
Hey, thanks for having me on. Thanks for having me on again.
All right. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
All right. Yeah. Talk to y'all later.
All right.
All right.
That was Mr. Dari Hines running for a council seat in Muskegon Heights. And let's go to the board. Benita says thanks. All right. Couple things that I want to talk on, but before we have our next guest in the mayor about the city of Muskegon Heights, anyone that is running for those seats. Just like in Washington, you're seeing the effects of infighting and what's happening. Nothing's getting done. At some point in Muskegon Heights, and this is not only Muskegon Heights thing, that's where people make mistakes. This happens in the city of Muskegon. This happens in the townships. This happens all over. That what you have to let go is this infighting. It's good to have debate. It's good to talk things out. But at the end of the day, you have to do what is best and for Muskegon Heights. And so let me address what some of the things that should be done in Muskegon Heights. First of all, that transparency has to come through and be clear what needs to be done for Muskegon Heights. Number two, there's economic money that needs to be brought in, and they have to show themselves friendly. And as Mr. Hines says, why should you go downtown to have entertainment when you can have that in Muskegon Heights? You do not have that right now. What you have is empty buildings that can be used. If you look at what's happening in the development in other cities, they're showing themselves friendly. They're inviting businesses to come in. The same thing needs to happen in Muskegon Heights. Number three, fix the roads and the infrastructure needs to be taken care of in Muskegon Heights. Now, everybody, let's go back to the board. Benita, repair the roads and the potholes. Yep, that's where I was going. Repair the streets, and take care of the blight. Because a picture is worth 1,000 words. And when you see, and you're driving down something and you're spilling your coffee everywhere because everywhere you hit is a pothole, it's a problem. Fix your infrastructure. These things we have so many things going on that need to happen in the Heights. It's going to take a dedicated team of individuals to come together to do what is right for the citizens of Muskegon Heights. Because at the end of the day, Muskegon Heights was thriving. And we want that thriving to come back. Okay. It's Friday, October the 2nd, 2023. I cannot believe I'm saying that. On next is the mayor, and we're going to be talking. Let's go to Houston, Texas. You should be running for mayor. And that was dedicated to Mr. Hines. Thank you for your comments, Michael Anthony Smith. Okay, it's 2:29. We're going to go to commercial, and then we come back. We're coming back with the current mayor, Walter Watt. You're listening and watching Torn in Two on WVS 103.7 The Beat and M106. We'll see you in a second. I'm so glad you showed me, baby. I'm so
With visittanzania4less.com, you can celebrate Christmas in the Serengeti and New Year's Eve in Zanzibar with our holiday special. This 9-day adventure through Tanzania's stunning landscapes covers the Serengeti, Crater Tour, and Zanzibar's beaches. Enjoy an unforgettable New Year's Eve party and explore Dar es Salaam, East Africa's largest city. Worried about your budget? Our preferred travel agency, iButterfly Travel, can help finance your dream trip. Contact them at 844-423-5983. Start 2024 on a high note with a unique Tanzanian experience. Call iButterfly Travel today at 844-423-5983 or email visittanzania4less@gmail.com. Reserve your dream vacation with a 30% deposit. Spend Christmas in the Serengeti and New Year's Eve in Zanzibar. If not now, then when?
Go back to Tornado 2 for October the 2nd. October the 6th, my apologies. I want to go to this question before we invite our guests. Go to the board. Rainer Arbery said, "You must have those who understand business and economics. Many are speaking of what they believe is needed, but nobody has addressed the needed economic changes within the city." That's a very good point. Thank you, Rhonda. Let's see if we can get our next Gary. He is the current mayor, and I believe we have him on. I believe we have him on vocally. Let's bring him into the picture. We might not have a picture of him. Put your hands together for Mayor Watts. Mayor, are you there?
I am, sir. How you doing today?
Good. Okay, to our listeners, we have your voice. We didn't have a picture, but that's okay. We have you there. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Glad to be on your show.
Okay. Mayor, tell people about some things about yourself.
Well, I'm an old man now, but young at heart and spirit, and I was born and raised here in the city of Muskegon Heights, and I graduated from Muskegon Heights High School and moved on and went to Western Michigan University, where I majored in food marketing. I went on with a career in consumer products industry as well as the pharmaceutical industry for well over 30 years now. And I made a decision to move back to Muskegon Heights as my mom was getting older and needed more help. So I made a conscious decision to move back here so that I can be here to help her and to do some things in the community. And as it turns out, I got involved. I was elected to council, and from there I ran for mayor and became mayor of Muskegon Heights, and here I am today. So, and I'm excited. I'm excited about the things that we've done. I'm excited about our future, and I'm excited to see the tremendous opportunities that we have here in the city of Muskegon Heights that are untapped. And if we can come together as a collective body of leaders and citizens, we can change our community for the better like it never has been before. And let me tell you, we are headed in that direction. We are headed in that direction, and we're going to get there.
Okay. So your question is going to be a little different because you're the first candidate for mayor that we interviewed.
Sure.
Since you've been on the board, what are some of the things that you feel that you have accomplished for the good of Muskegon Heights?
Oh man, we got a laundry list, but I think one of the first and most important things that I set out and accomplished was saving Muskegon Family Care from closing. I was 3 months into my tenure as mayor, and I didn't get a call from anyone from Family Care. I overheard a conversation after a council meeting on Monday night that they were closing this week. So I made a call on that Tuesday morning to the acting CEO and, asked what was going on. She invited me into the office, myself and the city manager, to have some discussions so she can update us and advise us that they would be closing. I said, well, that's not good, and we have to do something to stop that. So I invited our leaders at the state level and the federal level, contacted them and let them know this is not good. This facility needs to remain open. And at the same time, myself and Pastor Guy, we formed a rally for that Saturday morning in front of Family Care. And that rally was vitally important to saving the facility. And because we had no idea what we were going to do and how we were going to save it, but the whole goal was to put some attention on this fact that here it is, this medical facility is about to be shut down and closed in light of the fact that they also had closed Mercy, were planning to close Mercy Hospital as well, or was it Hackley? And this facility needed to remain open. So we formed a rally for that Saturday morning, and it was a cold Saturday morning. And when I say that, we got outpouring of support, we had the media come out there, and I expressed the content that this facility is too important to this community to close. It serves over 20,000 patients countywide, has over 250 employees, and it's a beautiful building right in the heart of the city of Muskegon Heights, and it pays tremendous taxes to our bottom line. We cannot afford to have it closed. And I also went on to say that, and this is where things happen for a reason, and God steps into the picture, because we had no idea what we were going to do, but it was put into my ear that Dan Oglesby, a man that had done these things, turned around companies like Amway, Worldwide, and Spectrum Health. He turned them around and put them back in the black. And I put out there in the atmosphere in front of the cameras that he was willing to come help us do this. He was willing to come help and do. I'd never met the man, had never talked to the man, didn't know what the man looked like, and didn't know if he was willing to come help. But God. And when he finally came forth and he and I talked, he told me, Mr. Mayor, when I first saw you all out in front of that building on that Saturday morning on TV, he said he told his wife, Mr. Mayor, this doesn't look good. He said after he heard me call his name, he said, baby, he told his wife, baby, they're asking for me. I got to come help. And thus he came forward and helped, and he turned around and saved that facility. So that was the first major thing for this community that I stepped forth and along with others that came and supported the rally. But let me say this, and I must say this, there are some that was on council that did not support the rally. And when I say they called me on that Saturday morning and asked me, why are we doing this? They already said that the building was closing. I said, well, if you don't understand why we're doing this, then maybe you shouldn't be on council. But I'm not going to say any names. But the fact of the matter is, that was important for this community that we step forth as leaders. So be strong, bold, and not take the what was happening. Because if he came in and saved the building facility, then it could have been saved without him coming here. Somewhere, somehow, it was some plans being made that we didn't know nothing about, but. And I tip my hat to Mr. Oglesby every time I see him. So that's just one of the things. But the other thing was, created a vision plan and a strategy for our residential and economic growth of our community, reaching new heights. We have to do things differently here to go into a different direction. So you must have a vision plan. And this all starts, in my opinion, with housing. At our peak population, we were in 20,000+ back in our days of growing up. Well, now we're under 10,000, at 9,000+. In order to bring this community back and to continue to serve the infrastructure that we have, we must bring people back to live. How do you do that? You build houses, you refurbish houses, and make yourself inviting to investors that want to do that. If you don't have a vision to build houses or have the desire to, we're never going to get our community back where it should be.
Now, you said that there's some things happening to turn around Muskegon Heights. Are you privy to talk about it?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said you talked about that there's some things happening to turn around Muskegon Heights. What are some of those things that are happening?
Well, we're partnering with our outside stakeholders. We're partnering with the Community Foundation, with the Economic Department of Muskegon. These people are willing to come in and help us and write grants that we aren't able to write ourselves to get monies that are out there and that are available. And working with our state legislatures more. And also people that want to invest in our community, local investors, like for, working with Joe Rome for Shops on Sherman. We assessed nearly $1 million environmental cleanup for the future development of that site, and that's going to happen. And as well, with the Motor Lake Pavilion, making a decision to allow a use agreement with Will Robertson and redeveloping that facility. We didn't sell the facility. We didn't give it away. We would have entered into a use agreement where he's investing his own money and credibility to redoing that facility, and we're still going to own it. And so, I mean, these are common sense decisions in my opinion, where the building has sat vacant for dang near 30 years. So what sense does it make to not allow someone that wants to invest their own money, that has a vision, that has some desire, that has drive, to bring into your community a business off of the lake? Let me back up. It's off of the lake, and we have it sitting there doing nothing off of a beach. It's just the right, in my opinion, the right thing to do.
Well, that's funny that you mentioned that, because we have a question from all the way from Texas. Michael Anthony Smith said, "How is the reconstruction of the Mona Lake Pavilion going?" And you just answered that. Anything you would like to answer that?
Yes, I mean, and this is what you have to be careful of. Misinformation being spread throughout the community from some of our leaders, just to put sour grapes in things to stop progress. You know, we get some things that happen at the council level where, if a vote don't go their way, then they start to spread misinformation about what's to be. And that's just not a good way to conduct business. We're a collective body, okay? And popular vote wins. If it don't go your way and it goes one way, then you should jump on that one way at that point, because we're trying to move forward and not backwards. And we're not trying to create contention. When you do that and you start spreading bad information, misinformation, just because it didn't go your way, that's just not good for the community.
One of the questions that gone to all the council people, and I'm going to throw this at you. How do you feel when it comes down to transparency? Has the council been?
We've been very transparent, and that's the whole other thing. Everybody, that's the monkey wrench that they like to throw in the game when a vote doesn't go the way that they want. Well, we didn't know. We weren't informed. Let me say this. Everything that we do, everything that we decide has to come before council via a recommendation from the city manager. So therefore, it comes to the meeting as a recommendation that in our work session. That's where we discuss it, have all the opportunities to question it, all the opportunities to turn it upside down, to turn it down, turn it up. That's where that happens. But then after you do that, and the vote don't go a certain way, well, we didn't know about it. Well, you didn't know. If you don't know, it's because you don't want to know. You know everything that, and this is, so we get that so often, it's sad. And it's just a weak excuse to say I'm not doing my job, because you know what? When you get your
We have lost Mayor Watt. I don't know what happened, but hold on. Let's see if we can get him back. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
I'm sorry. I think I might have hit my button. I'm sorry. But
you were passionate, so keep it up.
Yeah, I said that, I think I was at where, if you don't know something, it's because you don't know. You don't want to know, because we have every opportunity when we get our agendas to contact the city manager, in which we should be, every council person should be doing, should contact the city manager to discuss what's in the agenda and why, or whatever reason, whatever questions you might have. He should be able to ask us. The recommendation is coming from him. Ask me how many council people do that. And as a result, you see all these questions coming out in not just work session, business section, where we should be just voting on these items because they haven't done their homework. We had, I don't remember what item it was, but we had an item that was on the agenda and it got tabled for another tabled and came back to the next session, and we had a presentation on it, and one of the council people say, well, I just got this. I didn't know about it. It's been on the meeting. It was tabled at the last meeting, and it's been on there for a month now. So, that's the thing we have to get away. We have to do our jobs as council people and as mayor, and stop blaming others for the lack of us doing our jobs.
Well, how do we get there, Mayor? I mean, how do you talk? Now, I need you to talk to the people of Muskegon Heights. How do you guys get there where the infighting or the lies or whatever and you guys start moving forward to make Muskegon Heights that friendly place where people love to visit?
Well, I think we have to start electing people that truly love the city as opposed to just saying it, and stop electing those that are just because they are family members or our friends and because they're popular. Screen people that you want to lead you, because these are people that are going to be making decisions on your behalf. They're going to be sitting and sitting at the table of discussion for all issues, and they should. But if they're not open for constructive dialogue or bringing some good ideas to the table, and all that they want to do is question, and knock down everyone else's idea without bringing anything of their own, we're going to always have some passionate discussions, I should say.
Question. Let's go back to Houston, Texas. Question from Michael Anthony Smith. He says, the city manager form of government, is it too expensive for the city of Muskegon Heights?
The city manager form of government, you mean our form of government is a weak mayor form of government, and we have a city manager that manages the day-to-day operations. I don't think it's inexpensive, because if we don't have a city manager, that means we would have to have a strong mayor, and he would have to be paid as well, just like the city manager. So, and council people aren't being paid a whole lot of money to serve. So no, it's not unaffordable. I think that's most small communities in the state have weak mayor forms of government and a city manager as the day-to-day operator of the city. So is it inexpensive? Well, those are high-paying jobs.
And I believe we lost the mayor again, and hopefully we will get him to come back in. Oh, there you go. Are you there? Yeah, we lost the mayor. Hopefully.
Here.
Hey, Mayor, can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Repeat your answer. We lost you for a second.
I said getting city managers they're expensive jobs, but we've been fortunate to get someone in here under six figures for quite some time. But moving forward, as we look to hire a new one in the next few months or however long it takes, I'm sure we're going to be approaching a six-figure salary if we want someone good. You get what you pay for.
To go into that, if you really want a good city manager, you're going to have to pay six figures.
Bottom line. So, and then if you don't, you can constantly complain about what he or she might be doing, but you get what you pay for. And if we want to move our city forward and make change and find solutions to the issues and the concerns that we have and make improvements, we're gonna have to pay somebody some money as a city manager to do that. And when we do that, we must allow him as a council to do the job.
Do you now we talked about the city manager's position? Do you see that there's where the council is trying to tie the day-to-day operations from the city manager?
I'll just answer that with one. Some, absolutely yes. It's a strong arm situation. I mean, the city managers, any of them, are damned if they do, damned if they don't, because you have 7 people that are coming at you daily, whereas it should be one collective body, one voice from the council on the direction that we want to see happen. But everybody has their own ideas, their own ways of thinking. If you do something one way and another council person don't like it, well, why'd you do that? Well, the other person, why'd you do that? So that's why it's, we must allow the man or woman to do their job and manage and run the city. They run the day-to-day operations of the city and manages all the employees. We should not be interfering in that. We should be providing a vision and holding them accountable.
What's your vision about fixing the infrastructure, like the roads and stuff in Muskegon Heights?
Well, in light of the fact that we don't have the money to do the streets. We'd had a survey done earlier last year, latter part of last year, where Damon Garrett from Metro Consulting did a presentation on the study from our streets. It's estimated that we would have to spend over $100 million to repair all of our streets. All of our streets. That's how bad the infrastructure is. What we have coming in annually from the millage that was passed a few years prior to beginning on council is roughly around $400,000. So what that says is, to me, at that rate, at this point, we would never get the streets done because we don't have the money. However, there are things we can do to be creative to get the streets done, which is what we're doing, and which is a conversation I have with the Black Mayors of Michigan's Association, where we have certain things that we are pushing forward towards the legislatures to try and to get in place for our communities. And one of the things that I recommend and suggest to all of them is that we have this lead service line funds that we all should be getting. Well, we should be pushing the state legislator and the state government to fund those funds to where we can replace all these lead service lines in all of our homes across the state, because we all have them. So when you do that, you got to tear up the streets to do it, and the money's to repair the streets in there. So that's what you see right now happening on Leahy Street in the city of Muskegon Heights, from end to end, where we've gone in and replaced the lead service lines in the homes. And as we're replacing those lead service lines and tearing up the streets, we're repairing them with new curves, new driveways, and completely reconstruct the street. Same with Delano, same with Reynolds, same with 8th and 7th Streets, and more to come. So we're being creative with how we're getting streets done, in spite of the fact that we don't have a dime to do them outside of the $400,000 plus that we get in the millage annually.
And $400,000 is going to do it. We got to go to the board. Benita Thurgood, could you address where we are in reviewing the previous revised city charter?
Well, that charter wasn't approved. We're still under the old charter. And therefore, we have to put together a new charter commission to go back and review that charter, the old charter, so that we can have revisions. There are some things that was in that charter that some council members did not like, and it did not pass the vote once it got to council. So that's where we're at. And when I'm elected again, that's one of the first things I'll be doing, for getting the charter commission together so that we can review the charter, because it definitely needs to be reviewed and revised. There's some outdated things in there that are holding the city back and being used in convenient times for different reasons.
Let me say this, being on the Charter Commission for City of Muskegon twice, it is very important. Let's go back to the board. Why isn't there a strong, transparent plan going on with the educational system? If we lose the school, we lose homeowners, will bear the cost. Education is a vital piece of a successful city. Mayor.
Well, let me say this. Right now, the homeowners are already bearing the cost of the school system. They have some of the highest millage rates, tax rates for old school district that is no longer existing. And that's one of the conversations that myself as a mayor has at a higher level, at the state level, with the state legislator, trying to fight to get that debt removed from over the heads of the taxpayers. That debt at one point in 2012 or 13 was somewhere around $13 million. Well, today it's now $37 million. And we had emergency managers that have come in that were supposed to be paying that debt down and erasing it. Well, we went backwards. So there's been conversations at the legislature level and to have debt removed in school districts across the state. And one of them spoke about a $15 million or $12 million debt with one of the districts. I said, well, one of my recommendations is, well, that's fine. How about erasing that $13 million that we had before you came in, make that clean, and take the other $27 million that you created while you were here. If you do that, we're clean, and we can get our public schools district back. But at this point, with the debt being as it is, there's really no end in sight in terms of getting the public school district back, because until the debt is repaid, that's the only way we can get our public school district back. And let me say this also. because some seem to be confused about the relationship between the school district and the city government.
Please.
Can you hear me?
I said, please explain.
Yes. We're two separate entities. There's a school board. They are a school board of elected officials that manages the day-to-day, that manages the school district. And we, as leaders in the city of Muskegon Heights, have absolutely zero say in what happens at that school district. Now, we can of course express our opinion just like any and every citizen, but at the end of the day, it's the school board that makes those decisions, and we can't. And interfering with that is not appropriate as leaders in the city government. So, but now let me say this also: every city with a school district is dependent upon a good public school district in order
Correct.
to keep its community vibrant.
Right.
So when you look at, because one of the first things that an individual or family looks at when moving into any community is their public school system. If it's a good system, good chance you're going to earn a new resident. If it's a bad system, good chance they're going to look elsewhere, but still maybe move, but more than likely not. So that's where my fight is. Turning around this dynamic of our community to making it safe, making it a live, work, and play atmosphere so that we can bring back homeowners by building new homes, making places and neighborhoods safe to where they want to live, and having a strategic plan to have stabilize our neighborhood. And when I was Councilman Watt, that's what I put together a plan, a neighborhood stabilization plan on how we are to stabilize our neighborhoods and keep them from deteriorating and falling and keep them vibrant, and keeping homeowners in these homes. We need homeowners as well as we need the renters and investors.
Before I go to the next question, let's say this: it's important that the state remove that debt from the school. Now let me go to the next question from Rhonda. People need to know that the city is at least concerned. Talk a little bit about that. We only have 3 minutes left.
Well, as a citizen and as a leader, absolutely we're concerned, and we're as concerned as you are. But my concern and the conversations I have are at a higher level of government, at the state level, fighting to get that debt removed. And it's just disheartening for any to think that no one's concerned, but to get involved. And I had a meeting with a citizen on Monday and Tuesday, and it went nowhere because the fact that they thought that my job is I'm over the school board. I say, brother, no, I'm not. I have no authority over anybody over the school board. Yes, you do. You're the mayor. Well, okay, we went back and forth and it went nowhere. But let me tell you, we have no authority over the decision-making process of the school district. And every person that lives in the city of Muskegon Heights, of course, is concerned about the district. But the level of concern that I have is at a different level, and that's where I've been fighting the good fight.
Mayor,
and we've made some traction on it.
I got to go to the board real quick. We got last question. I'm glad you explained that, Mayor. A lot of people don't know and understand the separation of the school and local government. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead, Mayor.
No, that's absolutely right. And I just didn't know that some people really did not understand that. They really did not. And for the life of me, there are some that still do not understand it. But that's the way it is. And it's I don't know. I don't even know how to change that.
Okay, Mayor. Listen, we got to end the show. But how can people?
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's that fast. How can people donate to your candidate? Write that big check to you, or find out more about you?
I lost you, sir. I missed all of that.
I said, how can people write that big check or get in touch with you?
Oh, go to Cash App, Walk to Watt, $ Walk to Watt, and make sure to put down there to be donation for the committee to elect Walk to Watt mayor, and also Zelle. You can go to Zelle, Walk to Watt Jr. at yahoo.com. Walk to Watt, no S on Watt, Jr. Jr. at yahoo.com, and again, put pay to the committee to elect Walk to Watt for mayor.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Have a good.
Is it over already?
Already.
Man, I didn't even get to the campaign slogans and all that good stuff. What? You got to have me back on.
We'll see what we can do. You take care.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Okay. Listen, people, you guys are blowing up the boards. There are a lot of questions out there for the mayor, and unfortunately, we ran out of time. There's information how to get it in touch and donate to the mayor at the bottom of the screen. Listen, it's the weekend, as we always say. Go out, touch somebody's lives, go sow a seed in someone's life. You never know who you might change. Take care. This is Greg Roberts. This is Torn 2. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.